Well, hello and good afternoon, everybody, I guess. I have built another Cobi, this one an F5 Freedom Fighter, F5A, but it's a little more than an F5A. Here's the box, and I'll explain. Manual, easy build in 16 bags. Not two big bags as normal Cobi kits are, but they're all separate. Here is the actual plane. I want to make it look clean. I try to make missiles for heat-seeking missiles because the American version don't have it. But here's the actual plane. It's a very nice plane. A little bit of confusion with it though, and not a bad thing. I've built several of these F5 fighter planes in my youth. 1/72nd scale, a couple 1/48s, mostly 1/72nd. I built the F5A Freedom Fighter, the F5E Tiger II, and the F-20 Tiger Shark. This plane is the F5E Tiger II. How do I know? Because like I said, I built so many. The leading edge slats for the wing, the larger intakes for the engine, and a slightly different fuselage. Not bad. This is they did a great job with this, and one of the F5, that's fine, but it is an F5E Tiger II. Easy to take landing gear off. Very clean. Very nice model. They have several others. They have one as a MiG-28 from Top Gun. They have a Swiss one, and they have a Norwegian. I have the Norwegian one, but I have to build it. At the end of this video, I'll show you that. Here's the actual plane. I'm going to keep it kind of like this. I'm not going to play with it like I normally do and stuff. It also comes with a fuel tank, which goes in the middle, like so. And you can attach that on. The American version has two bombs that go in these bomb racks, but what I've been doing is, out of extra Cobi parts, I made air-to-air missiles, which I've attached into those bomb racks. I'll show you one. Kind of a little different twist on it. Plane has fuel tanks on the wingtips. A short history. This plane was designed by Edgar Schmud. Probably don't even know who was Edgar Schmud. He was the engineer who designed the World War II P-51 Mustang. It was his baby. And after World War II, in the 40s, he designed the F-86 Sabre, Korean war jet. And in the late 1950s, he came up with this, the F5 Freedom Fighter that Northrop produced. What this is supposed to be was a lightweight fighter. What is a lightweight fighter? In the 50s, most of the fighters were big, fast, super sophisticated. They could not maneuver like this cannot maneuver in a dogfight. They were designed primarily to launch Sparrow long-range missiles at Soviet bombers coming to launch nuclear Armageddon on the United States. So as far as like a dogfight role, those fighters are very big. They're fast. They could go long distances. They could go really quick. But in terms of a turning dogfight where you're zigzagging around, not so. This plane was designed to do that. It was designed, for one, to be a low-cost fighter plane that the United States could provide to NATO and other allies looking for a good fighter plane. And I'm just going to keep holding this so you see the plane, so not to make you dizzy. And so they came up with this design. The reason they were able to do this so efficiently, these engines on this plane, the J-85 General Electric turbojets, were essentially engines for a 1950s drone that they were going to use to do attacking on whatever. They're very efficient, very nice engines, and got a hold of them and figured that if you could put them side by side in the right frame, you can have a supersonic fighter. The F5A is a supersonic fighter, Mach 1.4, which is about 1,074 miles per hour. The F5E Tiger II, which this is just by body, and like I said, because I built so many of these in my youth, is Mach 1.6 or 1,227 miles per hour. These planes are very fast and very highly maneuverable. This one is so maneuverable, in fact, When the Vietnam War ended, the North Vietnamese government, the communist government, took a few of these and sent them to the Soviet Union. They wanted to compare them with the MiG-21, their lightweight fighter. This thing can outmaneuver and outfly it. The MiG-21 is slightly faster in Mach 2, which is about 1,534 miles per hour. But in a turning dogfight, one of these F-5E Tiger IIs could kill it. And basically the Soviets told their pilots engaging this plane in combat not to go and try to dogfight it, because it will turn and tear you to pieces. Its main armament are two M39 cannon. What is an M39 cannon? Well, it's an Americanized version, initially done by Colt, of the Hispano-Suiza French 20mm cannon. And we got it. We used it during World War II. We modified it. And it wound up being produced in the 1950s by basically car companies, or any company that will subcontract for military purposes. When you see that, like, if you buy this model, say these are Pontiac, whatever, M39 cannons, they are the M39 Colt Hispano-Suiza cannon, but they're made by Pontiac. It says on the box Pontiac. That's because Pontiac was a subcontractor. They had lines that could do that for the military, so they produced these cannon. Please also know that at this time they started using the Vulcan rotary cannon that the F-16 uses and a lot of the other planes. This plane, both of these cannon were single cannon. I believe the velocity was not that strong, but strong enough in a low speed turning dogfight where it wouldn't matter. But good enough for a ground attack. There were improved versions of the cannon that were in the F-5E Tiger too. Also, this plane is extremely sleek. It had a 51,000 foot ceiling. With this big tank that I showed you, it can go, I'm looking at my notes here, almost 1,700 miles an hour. So, I mean, it had a good loiter range. As far as combat in the United States, they used these in Vietnam, the F-5A version, just to see what they could do. And this is what this camouflage is. It had wing-tip tanks on it, kind of like the F-104 Starfighter, but it was very lightweight. It used a lot of alloy and composite materials in it, and it was actually the first lightweight kind of dogfight style fighter that the F-16 and the F-22 are. The F-22, those kind of gotten big and stuff, that countries started to use. The French came up with a Dassault Mirage 3, which is considered a lightweight fighter, but faster. This plane did not have the high speed. The reason with that, I mean, the cost would be lower, and this could be sold to allies. Norway flew these. Switzerland, which was a neutral country, flew these. Spain flew them. NATO countries used them. I think Denmark might have used these. Belgium. But then the F-16 replaced them in the late 70s, early 80s. These served with the United States Air Force until 1998. I think Norway used them until 2000 and something. Switzerland still has them. They're also used as aggressor aircraft by the Air Force in training against tactics against Soviet fighters. It also had a two-seat version, which is called the T-38 Talon, which was the primary advanced trainer of the United States Air Force. This is finally getting replaced now. It'd be the same, I guess, but with a double seat. So you can have a pilot and the instructor, the pilot and the pilot instructor fly in it. But overall, this is a very good plane. It was a trend-setting plane, because when it came out in 1958, you didn't have a lot of these small, lightweight fighters. The British would produce one early 60s, a Foland Nat. And like I said, the Mirage 3 basically is this, but it's a little bit bigger, a little faster, more potent. But this plane, I mean, it was a good plane. And there's still private ones flying these. I think NASA has a few. The Air Force still uses it as the aggressor squadron trainer. Any other special things about this plane? The pilot figure's a half figure. It's kind of a weird construction because there are no bag one, bag two. You have 16 little bags, and it's up to you to come up with what you need to produce this. And I wanted to have heat-seeking missiles. So from other Cobi kits, you have these little things you use to load up parts on. I made air-to-air missiles. silly me, and I attached them to the plane, kind of to show how it was. Because if it was in U.S. service, it would have had these fuel tip tanks, and it would have either missiles or bombs on the bottom, and plus that big fuel tank you see in the middle. And the reason I don't have them on here, and I took the landing gear off because landing gear would go right back on and stuff, just so you can get a look at how sleek, how efficient, and what a nice plane this was. It wasn't that designed by computers. This was designed by an engineer using a mechanical drawing board and a different rulers and slide rules and stuff to come up with calculations. There weren't computers feeding in. That being said, because this plane lasted such a long time, it eventually got improved fire control systems, better computers, digitalized controls. There's a lot of modifications that have been done. In fact, I don't want to say this to stir anything up, this plane is the primary fighter plane of the Air Force of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Old plane that came out in 1973, they're still flying it, and I think they make upgrades and stuff with theirs. It's a very easy plane to fly from what I've read and what I've gathered, and an impressive plane. But in the way the U.S. military is, there's really, I don't know, not kind of a need for this until they started with a lightweight fighter program and the YF-17, which became the F-18 and then the F-16. But from a cost perspective, this could give you a lot and be a really good plane to fly. That's basically all I have. I do not want to bore everybody. I've got other videos coming up. I have built a T-34-85. I'll have a video on that. And like I said, I have the Norwegian version, which would be a NATO, and I haven't built it yet. I'm hopefully to build it this weekend, and I'll give a video on that and a little bit of explanation of that. But that being said, when I was building plastic models, this is one of my favorites, the F-5, because most of the jets at that time, until the F-15, F-16 came around in the late 70s, were these big behemoth 1950s supersonic, overpowered, just not really like great planes. I mean, not like a little thoroughbred horse like this, like the F-16. But this one was the first of all those style and types of planes. Came out in 1958. The F-5E, which Tiger II, which is this one, the 1,200 mile per hour version, is the one that came out in 73. And like I said, there still may be some flying. Some smaller countries still use this because it's upgradable. And that's the nice thing about this too, being that it's a different design than from all the larger, more cumbersome planes. And they did test it in Vietnam and jungle warfare. It's an easily upgradable, easy to fly plane that can be used as a good fighter plane. Basically, that's all I have with that. And like I said, I'm going to have more videos coming up. The old job search is not doing that great, so might as well get intimate with everybody with information and stuff. And I might have some watch and other videos, but I'm going to compile them. I think I'm going to put them all on one webpage. If anybody wants to look at my stuff for reference, feel free. I mean, it's not the most perfect stuff. I'm going to try to improve technical quality of the videos that I do, but there you go. The F-5A Freedom Fighter, aka F-5E Tiger II. They're available now. You can buy them online at various stores, Amazon. And there are 4 versions. The United States Air Force version, the Norwegian Air Force version, the Swiss version, and the MiG-28 from Top Gun. So if you have, any of you build Cobi models and you have the F-14 and that, might as well get the MiG-28 and have your own little Top Gun diorama with all the aircraft. Well, that's all for this video, and I will see you soon again. Thank you. Bye.